Hello everyone, I am here with a Bible study. I hope you guys are having a good evening. Wow, it's actually 7:06 p.m. Tonight's going pretty fast, isn't it? I didn't know it was this late. I actually got up early today. Hair is getting in my mouth. Alright, I'm getting stuff ready here. So tonight, I did tell you guys last night, so what did I say? What book we're in tonight? Hebrews again. It'll be Hebrews chapter 12. And tonight it'll be by Alice Thompson. And the Bible verse that goes along with her devotion tonight is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 11 in the New International Version, which says, "No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful later on. However, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it." All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that aside. Alice Thompson is one of the new writers, too, that we've been hearing from here lately. Oh. Looks like the next Bible study we'll be doing is another one. I don't know if we've heard from her, or have we heard from Katie Minter Jones a time? Or is she completely new? I know there was one we read here a while back that sounded different. Sounded similar to that name. I think she's somebody new too. But let's put that aside for now. Are you alright? Did you get hurt? Alright. Alright, so let's see how long chapter 12 is. Not long at all. Okay, so chapter 12, God disciplines his sons. Talking about discipline, of course, in chapter 12, and that is it. So let me read chapter 12 of Hebrews. This is in the New Testament in the back. "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that is so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Let us fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Consider him who endured such opposition from sinful men, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood, and you have forgotten that word of encouragement that addresses you as sons. And here it is. My son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline, and do not lose heart when he rebukes you, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes everyone he accepts as a son or daughter. Just like you do your children if you love them. If they've done something wrong, you correct them so they know not to do it again, so they don't get hurt or, whatever. Endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as sons, for what son is not disciplined by his father? If you are not disciplined, and everyone undergoes discipline, then you are illegitimate children and not true sons. Moreover, we have all had human fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them for it. How much more should we submit to the Father of our spirits and live? Our fathers disciplined us for a little while as they thought best, but God disciplines us for our good, that we may share in his holiness. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful later on. However, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Therefore, strengthen your feeble arms and weak knees. Make level paths for your feet, so that the lame may not be disabled, but rather healed. Make every effort to live in peace with all men and to be holy. Without holiness, no one will see the Lord. See to it that no one misses the grace of God, and that no bitter root grows up to cause trouble and defile many. See that no one is sexually immoral or is godless like Esau, who for a single meal sold his inheritance rights as the oldest son. Afterward, as you know, when he wanted to inherit this blessing, he was rejected. He could bring about no change of mind, though he sought the blessing with tears. Yeah, he still wanted the blessing after this is back in the Old Testament, the twins, Jacob and Esau. Esau was the oldest of the twins, came out first. The hand. But they were like hunting, and they were in the woods, and Esau was hungry. So Jacob fed him because Esau was hungry, and Jacob said, give me your rights as the firstborn, and I'll give you food. And Esau agreed to it. He did. But then Esau, lied. He was going to still get it. And Rebekah, this was Rebekah and Isaac's kids, the grandchildren of Abraham. And Rebekah's favorite was Jacob, and Isaac's favorite was Esau. Esau was a hairy man. He had a lot of hair. Jacob didn't. And anyway, before Esau got back, and Isaac was blind, by the way, he could hardly see at this time, and he was dying. Rebekah put on a bunch of wool-like stuff on Jacob and sent him in to his father to ask him for his blessing before he died. And he said, "You feel like my son Esau, but you sound like Jacob." And he asked Rebekah who it was, and Rebekah said, "This is your son Esau." And he got the blessing. And then Esau came in a little bit later and said, he wanted the blessing. And he said, "I already gave it to, Jacob." And he said, "It's too late now." He blessed him, but he couldn't have the best blessing of the oldest son because he had already gave it away. So they fought for a long time. Jacob, of course, left. Came back many, many years later. But that's a backstory to that. You have not come to a mountain that can be touched and that is burning with fire, to darkness, gloom, and storm, to a trumpet blast, or to such a voice speaking words that those who heard it begged that no further word be spoken to them, because they could not bear that was commanded. If even an animal touches the mountain, it must be stoned. The sight was so terrifying that Moses said, "I am trembling with fear." I wouldn't want to be around it. But you have come to Mount Zion, to the heavenly Jerusalem, the city of the living God. I told you the Lord loves Zion. It says it many times in the Bible. The Lord loves Zion. You have come to thousands upon thousands of angels in joyful assembly, to the church of the firstborn, whose names are written in heaven. You have come to God, the judge of all men, to the spirits of righteousness, men made perfect, to Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and to the sprinkled blood that speaks a better word than the blood of Abel, who was one of the first children. He was the first children of Adam and Eve, and the good one. There was Cain and Abel. Cain was the bad one, Abel was the good one, and Cain killed Abel because he was jealous. See to it that you do not refuse him who speaks. If they did not escape when they refused him who warned them on earth, much less will we if we turn away from him who warns us from heaven. At that time his voice shook the earth, but now he has promised, Once more I will shake not only the earth, but also the heavens. The words once more indicate the removing of what can be shaken, that is created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. Therefore, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful and so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe, for our God is a consuming fire. Amen. Not a statue, not a frog, not an elephant or something with 12 arms, not a snake, something made with human hands. Our God is the living God, the God who made everything. Heaven, earth, all of us, all the animals. Our God is a living God. He is not made by human hands. He made the humans and the earth we live on. Now, which God would you want to worship? The other ones aren't even a God. They're just things people made and pretend to be gods. And I don't know why, but it's sad, really. I don't know why people do that. And they're missing out so much on the true God. And God offers so much. You feel so much love with Jesus and God, the Lord. They give you so much love and peace. Just the Bible, reading the Bible, the words in here when they talk to you through the Bible, and praying to them and talking to them every day. You can just feel the peace, and you get closer to them, and they become your best friend. Not just your father and your brother, but like your best friends as well. Truly do. Truly do. It's like when somebody says something bad about them, it's like saying something bad about your brother or something that's here on earth. You get very angry. Well, that's my dad. You don't talk about my dad, you know. That's how close you get to them, by reading every day and talking to them every day. Okay, let's go ahead and read the devotion. Okay, Alice Thompson says, the medical report I received was discouraging. Since my last annual visit, I'd gained weight and lost bone mass. My doctor examined my blood work. He said, you need to change your daily routine. Diabetes and heart disease have plagued my family for several generations. According to the doctor, these illnesses would be my fate and devastation if I did not lose 20 pounds. I worked a full-time job. My hours after work were dedicated to writing books. Hours before work were set aside for my morning devotion and quiet time with Jesus. Sounds like a lot of setting time. So that's going to be hard to do. How would I fit daily exercise in my schedule? Wake up earlier? Yes, it was the only way. And with my alarm set for 3:30 a.m., my goodness. I rose before the sun to drive to my neighborhood gym. Wow, that's open early. During each visit, I exercised for an hour. Then I returned home to shower and read my morning devotion. Exercising in the morning did not make me tired. It had the opposite effect. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that so much. When I just started school at my aunt's house, when they took custody of me, and I moved in there when I was 16. I started a new school. I remember getting up every day, putting an exercise tape in. It was actually Richard Simmons, Sweating to the Oldies. And I remember doing that every morning, really early, because our bus came super early. We lived way out in the country. So I remember doing that exercise video every morning and then getting in the shower. And it would always like wake me up and get me ready for the day. Instead of like making me tired, it would get me ready. I'd feel a lot better. Anyway, I did that every morning. Then, exercise readied my mind to receive God's word, and it lifted my energy and enthusiasm all day. The dedication to rise earlier and exercise didn't happen instantly. I didn't lose weight right away. However, several months, I developed discipline as I prayed to Jesus for help. And with greater discipline, my health improved. Self-control and discipline dismantle the negative habits that disrupt our joy, peace, and long life. So ask Jesus to bring discipline to the areas in your life where it's missing. Live well, live long, live. And the faith step homework tonight from Alice is make a list of health goals for this year and ask Jesus for the discipline to achieve them. My blood work came back last time, which I already suspected because I was very, very tired, and I'm not sure about my iron because she didn't say anything, but I haven't been to the hematologist for a few months to get an iron infusion because of this thing going on, this virus. And anyway, she said last time I was there I had to have a B12 shot too because my B12 is low. It kind of goes like hand in hand, and it's all due to my gastroparesis. And this time my B12 was severely low, she said. So she said I really needed to come in for high doses of B12 shots that I could get all at one time, but that was impossible right now due to the clinic being closed. So she tried to prescribe me liquid B12, but insurance will not cover it. So I got some dissolvable tablets over the counter, but I don't know if they're working or not because I don't really feel much different. And my hematologist told me that I had to have the iron infusions because I can't take iron pills because my body, something to do with my liver and all this and that, because of the gastroparesis, my body won't absorb the iron through the pills and stuff anymore. My body won't absorb it. That's why I had to have it through the infusion. So I don't know if it's like that with the B12 or not, but they always give it to me in a shot there as well. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't had blood work. I was supposed to go back there for blood work, but I've not been back because of the virus. But I got to get back sometime to get blood work there. But my sugar was up, she said, which it's usually perfect. My sugar is usually perfect, my A1C, but it was higher. So she didn't like that. I tried a medicine, but it always makes me sick. So I didn't want to take it no more. So she gave me these shots to take. And I was reading on them before I took them. I was reading on there, and it said that if you have gastroparesis, you shouldn't take them because it slows your stomach down even more. So then I was afraid to take them at all. So I have an appointment with her at the end of this month, so I'm going to wait before I even take them at all and ask her about that, because I really don't want my stomach to stall even more than it does, because gastroparesis is like stomach paralysis, and I have enough trouble with my stomach as it is, and I don't want to make it even worse. That is for sure. I'll stick with diabetes before I make my gastroparesis worse, because my sugar's not that high, and I think I could get it down myself anyways, because if that shot's going to make my stomach worse, I'm not taking them. But we'll find out. I'll let you know when I find out, if I could remember. So let's put that away, the devotion. And then I'll go ahead and do the animal devotion, since they are shorts. This one's by Devin O'Day. It is called But I Like to Swim. And the Bible verse is 1 Corinthians 10:23 in the New International Version. I have the right to do anything, you say, but not everything is beneficial. I have the right to do anything, but not everything is constructive. My Labinards, which are Labrador Retriever St. Bernard mixes, are escape artists. As big as they are, they can squeeze under or climb over any enclosure in seconds. While they are mostly obedient, when they feel the pull towards something they want, they disobey and take off. They will abandon. The Labrador part of their genes wins over anything else as they escape to a lake and pond or a large puddle. Neither food nor treats are more enticing than a good swim. I'm not a strict task maker. I don't mind that they swim, but I do mind when they take off across a busy highway with no regard to me or cars. I would take them for a swim, but in a safe way. Yeah, that's dangerous. God is like that with us. He understands the pull of things on our psyches, the way addiction can overtake, and the way the words can be full of temptation. Yeah, the world can be full of temptation. God gave us all free will to choose within His guidance things that will bless and fulfill us. He allows us to choose anything. His rules of what is good and what is right are not to keep us imprisoned, but to free us from being unhealthy, hurt, or being unable to choose when addiction becomes a god. As I stress and pray for a safe return on my wayward dogs, I know that parents do this for children as they leave the nest. And I know that God anxiously awaits our return to Him when we wander. He's always waiting on you to come back when you, like she says, wander away from Him. Walk of faith. Weigh the consequences of the choices we are all allowed to make. Choose beneficial and constructive. Choose life. All right, guys, I will go ahead and stop there. I know the More Glimpses of Heaven, I usually read one. I could read one, but it's after over 22 minutes. So I don't want to give you guys that long of a video tonight because my battery's about dead, so I want to try to get this uploaded for you. But I will try to get one of those in with the next video I make in the Bible study. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, I'll see you guys with another Bible study soon. Good night, guys.